line. Check the radio, pit crew is far from slow. The lights no longer yellow. Ready, steady, go. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 In love with the ride. Burning rubber smells real nice. Fuel it up once or twice. Come on, fast is the way to drive. Crowds all on their feet, not one bothered by the heat. Imagine them in the driver's seat. Checkered flag would be sweet. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 Everybody get ready. On your feet. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Crank it up. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 Crank it up.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, this is the time and this is the place. It's main event time here at PTM Racing TV, and our showcase tonight brings you down to Rockingham, North Carolina. In its anticipation, we present to you the Cup Series of Champion Power Equipment iRacing Cups Fast and Fun Cup Series now here on PTM Racing TV. I got everyone. I am Christopher, the Crusader Driver. Joining me here tonight, my good friend, longtime partner, colleague of crime, if you will, call him what you will. It's Dustin Solnaker. He's back with me here, and Sparky. We've had a long road to get here, and obviously since 2004 we have yet to come back to the track with the Cup Series, but tonight that all changes with the Champion Power Equipment crew.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is going to be a tough one for sure. And boy, it's good to come back to an old track like this.
It certainly is indeed. So as we get ready for the lineup, I think you know how we'll do it. We'll start them on the pole. K.O. Gale will rock at the 83 to his outside. Brad Patton is in the number 10.
All right, in our second row, we're going to have Ryan Johnson in car 38 and Robert Lawrence in car 34.
Row 3 sees Nathan Meyer in the 24 to his outside. It's the Marauder, James Harris.
Row number 4, Craig Jazanik in car number 40 and Harley Beretta in car 81.
Row number 5 is going to be George Young in that 48. The outside of him, Richard Fornshell in our number 90.
Michael Davis will commandeer row number 6, and right beside him will be Brandon Ball in car number 17.
Row number 7 is going to be Stephen Gibson in the 21 to his outside, being the Truck Series winner back from Daytona, Christian Wilcox in the 53.
Row number 8, Stephen Clegg, car number 22, and Grant Enfinger in car 98.
Row number 9 is going to be Eli, the Wild Child in the 9 to his outside, Sheldon Pearson in the number 8.
Row number 20, Kevin Kushur, car number 91, and John Thacker in car number 56.
Row number 11 is going to be Jacob Givens in the 20 to his outside. That'll be the 19 of Sean Boundy.
Row 12 finds the Whitehead folks in there, Brock on the inside, Charles on the outside.
Row number 13 is going to be the Man Beast, Swingman Jr. in that 29 to his outside, Kyle Holden in the 12.
And our next row, Zach Henson in car number 11 and Rick Sargent in car number 27.
Gar Snyder in the 88 to his outside will be Kevin Ward in the 112 with row 15.
Row 16, Brian Lorenzano in the car 77 and Austin Hagel in car number 42.
Final starters, Russell Fulmore, Kilgore in the 2, and Jonathan Diamond in the 39. Race fans, it is time. The place to be is here and now at Rockingham, North Carolina's Rockingham Speedway. They haven't been here since 2004 NASCAR-wise IRL, but in iRacing, anything goes. It's time to go racing.
All right, green flag underway. We're going to head it right on down into turn 1 here. Cale Gale's going to lead him off as he come up from turn number 2.
He's already got a good jump start, but the problem is he's got a tough hombre there in the number 10 of Brad Batten. As of late, he's been kind of showing up on the veterans here a little bit. We'll see if he does that more here tonight. As we got in the middle pack here, top 10 going at Harley Barlett in the 81. Tries to fire it off there with the 24 Valvoline and what's not supposed to be that Ford Mustang machine.
And y'all folks, y'all may have noticed out here too, we're going to have a couple cars out here, a lot of cars out here running some pink paint schemes here tonight. That's because this month is Breast Cancer Awareness Month here. So you'll definitely see some pink cars out here tonight, and that's why they're driving them here tonight.
Real men wear pink, and all women fight to the end, and we will be fighting cancer as we continue to go along with it. They are all here to represent and celebrate and help the men and women that have survived and conquered. The women have always conquered and fought to their foundest and the best when it comes to this unfortunate disease, and they deserve all the love and credit here, and they want to show you fans that they will fight on the track as hard as those ladies do time and time again. So if you can, show them the love, show them some support, and while you're at it, show some love to your mom and your grandma and all your friends and girls that you got around here. Show them some love, even if the wife's getting on your nerves. Just show her a little love, because we are all in this fight together.
Absolutely. And speaking of fight, looks like the fight for the lead has gotten interesting. While we were talking about that, Brad Patton has now put that number 10 car up in front.
He has indeed, Sparky, and I'm kind of surprised out of the gate that he was able to do it as well as he did. He managed to pretty much kind of get himself a charge offer into the corners and make his way down to the inside zone into the run. And now the speed he carries, I wonder if Cale Gale is trying to live off just a little bit, maybe build some speed for later on. But, I mean, there's one thing I think these drivers are going to be paying very close attention to. It's distancing and making sure they don't get into trouble earlier and too quickly, because unfortunately last night, as many would put it, it was not the race they were looking for at USA International Speedway with those truck series. So maybe they'll be taking a thing or two off that coming onto a short track. As I say that, may not have been the best time to say that. The 21 gets into it, unfortunately, and sends one of the drivers down in the inside zone. Grant Enfinger goes for a little ride there coming off of turn 3. No caution, though, for the 98.
Yeah, wow, good job there by the 21 to kind of drift it through the corner there, able to keep it straight, and Enfinger able to keep going as well. No caution here. Enfinger does have a little bit of rear bumper damage on that car.
Look at the PTM Instant Replay here. Let's take a look at this one right now. The B17, watch Brandon Ball there on the left side of your screen, while the 21 of Jacob Gibbons him just kind of colliding down in. Grant Enfinger is trying to evade and avoid, but Kevin Krasher gives him the old love tap, bump and run circumstance, and send them off their way. No caution was thrown, though, so they said the drivers were able to refire and keep everything okay and nice in one piece, so they're going to let them race it.
Yeah, absolutely. Able to just keep it together. Everybody kept going forward. We stay under green, and tell you what, these guys battling side by side back here all over the racetrack.
They are indeed here, actually in the back of the pack right now in the top 20. You got Kevin Krasher, Sheldon Pearson, Lorenzo, Snyder, Thacker, and Bounty also in this. And Sean Bounty, actually, last time we saw him last night, he was certainly making a bidding for the top spot there on the USA International Speedway. And tonight he is doing himself a little bit of a disregarder in this point, because being in the back of the pack, I would have expected him more up front because of his short course and road course experience. He seemed like he's got that down to a T, but maybe at the moment he's just trying to stay out of trouble and keep himself in one piece like he did in the previous races.
And you mentioned earlier, you know, maybe these guys did learn something from last night, because last night's race was kind of rough, as you would say. And maybe they did learn something, because these guys are really racing each other pretty clean. They're giving each other a lot of room. So maybe there was a learning experience last night, and they're, racing pretty clean out here so far.
They are indeed. I'm kind of a thing that I'm really just kind of watching for is, obviously they've learned their lessons, that they've learned how to really manage the cars around here, but long-term wise, is that going to last them out as we go on board here with the one and only, apparently, mullet man, Robert Lawrence, as Dusty Bravo comes saying, "Go, Robbie Only Fans Lawrence, best molded in the biz." Well, apparently it is, because he's hanging in that top 10 half, and he's got Harley Barletta right in front of him. I'd keep your eye out on Barley all night long, though, because Barletta's got a thing or two when it comes to bumping and running here on these tracks.
Oh, definitely, absolutely, definitely keep an eye on a lot of these guys up here in the front. It seems like the front guys are kind of just staying in here. I don't see anybody really falling back or really gaining much here. It just seems like everybody's just kind of just pretty much stuck right there.
There's only really two ways to work around this place, and Kyle Holden actually kind of in the back of the pack here as Tracy Holden joins us in. Right at the moment, we're currently looking at three different strategies. You got short run, long run, and really the run of the century, which is just go for it all and hope for the best. And right now, what I'm seeing is that third option is really what Brad Patton and Cale Gale are up to. But here's the downside. You got guys like Ryan Johnson that have been playing up on their little tricks and stuff, and they may have overdone the tires just a slight bit because now Ryan Johnson is hammering the throttle down into the corners. Taz Motorsports is literally on a track and on attack here to take down Patton. He's gaining a lot of ground on him.
Yes, he is, and even judging by the lap times, even as close as the lap times are, Johnson's lap times are just a little bit quicker here lately, and he's closing in on the top two guys up there.
He is indeed. And, you know, we talked about it time and time again, but it seems like those that have studied the cars and studied the tracks can set the car up the fast. They can set everything up more to the way they want to. And it seems like as they progress through in the race, that it seems like they found just that slight bit to get faster. Remember, when we talk about ovals, you're looking for any way to get a tenth to a second faster on each driver. You're not worried about trying to get the fastest of the cars. You're just trying to find how many laps you need and how many tenths of a second you can shave off without really destroying or tampering the tires of the car itself.
Yeah, especially on a track like this. This is old Rockingham here, even back then, running on this racetrack, very abrasive. It really does like to chew up the tires much. These guys already are running a second off the pace of what they qualified at. They qualified pretty much around the low 23s, 23.8, 23.9. Right now, they're at 24.9, almost 25 seconds at this point. So big drop-off already as we're 18 laps into the race here.
The mullet man, Robert Lawrence, still dealing with Harley Barletta. Meanwhile, right in front of him here, you see Nathan Meyer in that 24. Still should not have a Ford Mustang on that scheme, but is still running apparently. Meanwhile, the car that has the right scheme, the Chevrolet Camaro there of James Marauder Harris, gets a little pass gap there in the Fight Cancer GMG machine. Nathan Meyer managing to sneak his way by. Now, I really do not try to go any ill will towards anybody around here, but I will say this right now. If that 24 next season does not get swapped out with a Chevrolet, I might have to leave the booth, because this is like saying the 3 goes into a Ford Mustang or Toyota Camry. This is ridiculous.
Well, it doesn't, I mean, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it does seem kind of, as we said before, seems kind of sacrilegious to see the 24 with a Ford on it, but it doesn't seem like if that car had a Ford, a Chevy, or a Toyota in it. That Nathan Meyer has been one of the most consistent drivers this year. That's why he's up near the top in the point standings right now, and he's just been so consistent, so good in that car. So really, I guess the number works out, even though maybe the manufacturer not so much.
Sparky, I will give the credit where credit's due. He is a horrendous driver and get things figured out around here when it comes to that racing, but I will be like most of the traditionalists and NASCAR fans. I don't really mind the numbers where they're placed on the next gens, but I do mind when I see like a certain way that the scheme is and looks and all that going on the wrong manufacturer, in my opinion, because it just, you don't change things that don't need to be changed, and you also don't give it a traction that's supposed to around here. As Sheldon Pearson goes for the ride, Beam & Sons on the back straightaway gets a little clobbering from the 20 of Gibbons.
Oh boy.
Well, we had a
tough break for the 8 car there, Pearson.
Had a good long stint of runs, though, off these guys, so we already know it's very possible to see them really make a good showing of themselves and not to stay out of trouble for the most part. But here is your PTM Instant Replays, presented in part by Tonight by Champion Power Equipment. They came out of turn 2 here, and Sparky, and right now the 8 he got a little loose there off that exit, but problem for Givens, he ended up smacking the wall a little bit. Rear end slides it back down and actually takes the PM & Sons for a ride.
Indeed, that is the case right there, absolutely. Just a tough break there for the 8 car. He can gather back up. Doesn't look like that car got too much damage on it, so he should be able to fix that up and get right back out there. But what a job by these guys, though, to go 20, 22, 23 laps on that run. That was a pretty darn good run by these guys. Good job by all these drivers.
Absolutely indeed. Here as right now drivers now figure out their pit strategies and what they will do out here. Cale Gale is going to be one of those guys to stay out a little longer. Richard Fornshell will join him as well, so I think that will give us a little time to bring him in right at the moment. We're going to go ahead and chat with him. Let's go ahead and see if he'll come and talk with us here. Well, he has now joined in this with us and Team Dump and Run. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Richard Fornshell to the line of sight, and our eyes now hear you. Fornshell, right now, currently, that number 90 Ford Mustang has been pretty much in the mid-end to faster on the top ends when it comes to the races, but you're doing a little bit of a different strategy here. You're staying out there with KO Gale and a little bit of burnt tires. Why is that?
Honestly, I just feel like this is a little bit early to be pitting. You know, we've only got 3 sets to change into. So, you know, quarter of the race is a little bit more than this. So, I don't know. We'll see. Especially now that he's going to the back. Yeah, I'm a sitting duck.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, you're not a sure flap into the win, but I think you maybe, I think you might have to watch your flaps on the restart. Let's just say that.
Yeah. Yeah, well, we'll see how it goes.
And for the record, folks, he's got his sponsors are Sure Flap Outdoor, if I'm reading that right, Fornshell?
That is correct.
Okay, so that's why we make the joke. But Richard, appreciate your time here tonight, bud. We'll see what happens as you continue through the race.
Thanks, bud. Take care.
From Team Dump and Run, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Richard Fornshell. All right, we'll go ahead and talk with one more driver here before we get back onto the roster. I'm looking right now for our man Ryan Johnson. There is the Taz Motorsports machine. Here he comes down, joining in this with us. And Ryan, if you got a minute here, that Taz Motorsports Chevrolet 38 was hard on the charge, hard on the throttle, and he actually got a pretty good spot up on a couple of these guys. Where was the speed coming from?
I really just love this track. Anytime I come here in any car, I have a blast. I don't know. I was just kind of taking it easy, riding behind Kale and Brad there for a while. And I think I started to lose them a little bit on the longer run there. I think I used a little too much, more than I wanted to. But we didn't take tires here. So I think we'll be better off saving them for later in the race. But we'll see what happens.
They certainly can have anything happen around here at Rockham, as we've talked about time and time again. But nevertheless, Johnson, you certainly have some work to do, and we'll just let you do the driving and do it and talk with that.
Thanks, buddy.
Ryan M. Johnson there, number 38, talking with us here to give you guys a little insight as now your top 5 switches up to Fornshell, Kersher, Bounty, Infinger, and Johnson. And Sparky, honestly, it's going to be kind of interesting to see what Infinger will have to do here, because remember, he got kind of caught up in the mix of things earlier on. And now that he's back out there as early as he is with Kersher, I have a feeling he has a little bit of an idea on his long-term run, but I don't know how well he'll hold up if like guys like Harris and Childs start to pull up on him.
Yeah, especially since he does have a little bit of rear end damage back there. I'm not sure how much that's going to affect his car being up front. This is quite a unique strategy by everybody. You had some guys come down pit road, some took no tires, some stayed out on old tires. This is going to be quite an interesting race with the tire strategy, I believe.
Well, as we talked about before, obviously champions come and go, and they make sure they are well known, but only the best can survive around here. Fornshell, though, I'll tell you one thing. He literally forgot how to keep his all 4 wheels intact. He was spinning the tires right out of turn 4, and that opens the door up for the bounty hunter to come for his claim.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the tough thing on these older tires. You got to be careful on the restart there, not to spin them off and then never have everybody all over you. But Fornshell trying to hold it on right now.
Greg's AFM jam to kind of sneak his way in while Grant Infinger goes up top, trying to snake out for a 3 wide slope, but there's problems for the mullet man. He's going for a spin. It's a caution.
It did a loop-de-loop, but he kept it going back straight, but the caution will come out.
He did a loop-de-loop, and you hold him tight and watch where it goes on back, and that's not what the mullet man wanted to do. He was singing way too much SpongeBob in that car.
Absolutely.
The good news is he can lace those boots, he can lace those racing shoes up and just get back onto the track. Here's what happened. They're coming out of turn 4 with the PTM Instant Replay. You saw him drive right onto that yellow line there, and actually, once you get onto that apron, well, let's just say you're about as big of a sitting duck as they get, and he ends up just kind of going for a twirl, whirl, and a spin. But I gotta honestly think, though, if Fornshell goes into pit road, that actually might be a better strategy for him in this case, because now he's going to catch a bit of a break, knowing that he was kind of in a bad spot earlier on.
Yeah, it's hard to tell how badly he spun those rear tires off there. So you might be right. He might just now come down and think, well, maybe I might want to check these tires out a little bit, make sure they're all right.
Well, the good news is for us, we're gonna check with this guy here that seems to keep invading my space as of late. Butch is John Thacker. How you doing, buddy?
Oh man, I'm fantabulous. Just hanging out here in the 20th, you know, creeping my way to the front slowly at a crawl.
Try 21st there, my friend.
21st. Well, a guy just pulled off the other pit, so maybe, just maybe, I can sneak a top 20. I gotta get 19th because it has a 1 in it, right?
Yeah, we'll agree with that. So, anyway, nevertheless, Thacker, you got your mid-pack boys right behind you, and Russ Kilgore and also up front with we had seen earlier with Caleb Forsythe and George Young from last night. But obviously here at Rockingham, you got a little bit more wide open space, a little more area to play with. Is really there a certain line or spot you really try to go for when you're going around this track?
Anything off the wall would make me happy. That's my favorite line. But no, honestly, a little bit higher. I tried to run the middle and got squirrely a time or two, so I'm gonna try to stay about right there, somewhere right here.
He's giving you guys a little insight right now as we take you to our little drone cam so you get a good look at what he's doing.
Yeah. Pro tip from a very non-professional here. People at home, don't try this because it is not good. As you can see, I'm in 21st.
Well, there is a reason why they have the semi-pro fake broadcaster on my shirt right now, so that's a good news for me.
That's what we're peas in a pod, bud.
Exactly. Nevertheless, Thacker, appreciate coming on board here tonight, man. Thanks for tuning in.
All right, man, take it easy.
I have to keep reminding myself. We keep bringing him in, and we have to hear his antics and all that. Here's Sparky.
Quite a personality he is. Quite a personality for sure.
Let's just leave it at that as we bring it down now and go fast motorsports here. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome in Brad Patton. And Brad, out of the start, you had pretty much the best start of any of the guys out here. You had the race lead earlier on, knocking down Cale Gale a few spots, but then Johnson was kind of sneaking your way in as you were just kind of waiting for him. Were you just trying to see what he would do if he got up to you, or were you just seeing if tires would hold up a little longer?
It was a little mixture of both. I was trying to save the tires and try to maintain the speed. But yeah, I just wanted to see what everybody else was doing.
That certainly seemed like a pretty good idea and a pretty good work around the track. So I got to ask you, as we start to finish this one off on the first half, what's going to be the thing you're looking out for?
Saving tires and getting through traffic.
Well, it seems like the right idea and the smart strategy. So nevertheless, Patton, we've got a little bit of work to do, but our best wishes and luck to you.
Appreciate it, guys. Thanks.
Brad Patton about ready to get back behind the wheel here and get settled up. He'll have to take down the Bounty Hunter in the 19 as well as Richard Fornshell in the 90. And I don't know how Fornshell is going to stay out there knowing what we saw in that restart. If I was him, I probably would not have went in there as early as he did. I think I probably would have tried to last out a little longer in the back and then go for it. But I don't know. Maybe that's just me. I'm a little different on my strategies.
Yeah, we're gonna be holding our breath here. I mean, I understand saving the tires; that's a good strategy. I just don't know with all these guys behind them for a little bit fresher rubber. I don't know if it might get ran over. I hope not. Hopefully, everybody will be all right here.
Well, we're gonna find out here right now as we get ready to fire him back off, and once again he gets a spin of the tires, and the car doesn't want to go. Thankfully for Bounty, that's the opposite of his case. Green flag is out, and Patton and Johnson will try to lead it in with him.
Yeah, Bounty got a good jump off the restart there, and he heads it down on the back straightaway toward the lead here.
He certainly did here, and that's going to be honestly the biggest telling of the tale is how long can he stay up in that upper half, knowing that he's got guys trying to catch up to him. As we go on board to watch the footwork there, Kevin Kersher in the number 91. Meanwhile, Harley Barletta sneakers his way around down the bottom way, kind of finds himself in between a snooker and a hard place. Not trying to make any rock jokes right now. We will save that for later.
Absolutely, and continuing on, yeah, sure, just continues to drop back here a little bit. Now Infigure trying to close in on him there, and there's Michael Davis not too far behind him either.
Michael Davis has been one of those guys that I've kind of called as of late my box of chocolates, whereas I don't know what I'm going to get with him. I'm either going to get something real good and fast and hangs with the top guys, or I end up getting something that ends up getting kind of lost in the traffic and getting caught up in bad spots. And it's not sometimes not even a matter of his own fault. It's just racing. You know, the racing in the world is just too chaotic, and sometimes not even the best driver makes it out on these circuits. Sometimes luck just really makes the difference.
You're absolutely right, especially with a driver like him. Like you said, like 1 week he'll be up there running with the leaders, running really well, and then another week as we got.
Whoa!
Baby.
Well, 20 of Givens, I don't know how he saved it. We had the chopper cam going up from the top end. Actually, it was a blimp style there, but thankfully for us, Givens was pretty much on our line of sight. Got a little love tap out of that corner, man, to bring it back and save it, but he's going to have a little more work to do to get back up to the front. As we see a little bit of change in the difference here. Brad Patton taking over the race lead. James Harris falls in second. James take a third, and with Bounty falling back into fifth, this could get a little gnarly here, my friends.
Boy, it was getting kind of gnarly in the back of the field there, too. A little bit of knob and knocking going on. Everybody able to keep it straight, though, but that was close in the back of the field as well. So there's just all sorts of racing going all over the place.
You know, we talked about it before here at Rockingham Speedway, and that this track is, honestly, I always kind of hate saying it's a difference maker, but it's almost like a track that can be a deal maker or a deal breaker for some people. It's a track that is designed to test even the best of drivers, but it also can be a bit of a wild card when it comes to who wins. Sometimes not even the best driver wins out here. Sometimes just a fuel tire strategy actually ends up giving you the W, depending on how you play it out.
Yeah, you kind of compare like Rockingham to say
whoa,
like
whoa,
a
whoa, 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 whoa,
whoa,
whoa! B17
oh,
Brandon Ball
goodness.
crashing in turn 2. Sorry to cut you off there,
boy.
Sparky. Just kinda
Oh, we got bigger problems further down the track.
where we got him at?
The 2 cars involved. There was like 4 or 5 cars down there all wadded up after that wreck.
We'll have to take a look at the PTM Racing replay. I literally missed that one. We'll take a look at them first, and then we'll go to the B17 of Brandon Ball. There, oh, there's a major wreck there. Yes, sir. I don't even know where that all started. All I know is we're just gonna have to look at from the blimp cam here to get a good look at this.
Yeah, it was so focused on Brandon Ball there, and then looked back over and just saw the 2 car, and there was a couple other cars all wadded up over there.
So what happened from our end here is once the B17 crashed in, he actually got Kilgore a little bit. Other guys were crashing out. Russ Kilgore involved, Kyle Holden. I'm seeing the 27 in there. We'll take a look at the 17 though again, a Ball. See how bad he took the damage there. You'll get a good idea of how tough Rockingham is around these parts. Watch him as he brings it off out of turn 2. He's already overdrove it up high too much. He's already in the wall. He has nowhere he can go. And you can see he's already put that thing stopped and done. He's trying to get it back into reverse and get it settled back off so he can get back on the track. And man, that's just a rough spot to be in on that run.
Yeah, it's like another one of those things. We're coming off the corners here at this racetrack. This track has got so much banking into it. When you come off of it, it's just like that rear end wants to come around. We've seen that at a couple tracks already this year. These drivers have had issues with that, and it seems like they're having that same thing here. It's just so temperamental trying to come off the corner and get a good run that, you know, sometimes you can push it a little too far.
Well, one guy that knows how to honestly get a good run off and make it last to the very end, that'd be our man we got on the board, the Man Beast, William Mann Jr. And Man Beast, as the Papa Beast watches on with his eye on you, we've got your eye on that Fight Cancer scheme going on for 3 Wide Motorsports. Looks like you and the whole team is running that out here.
Yeah, man, it's a pretty important cause, so anytime we can bring light to certain causes, we try to do our best to bring a little bit of a stage of things. And being October, it's kind of nice to run some paint schemes too.
It certainly is indeed. Obviously, we know real men always wear pink around here, and good on you guys for doing that. But I must say, though, when you talk about trying to save cars, save tires, save fuel, I mean, I would probably put you up there as one of the top guys to do it. But at the same time, it seems like it's also kind of putting you in trouble. Is there something maybe with that might be something you're trying to upgrade and get a little bit better at here, especially with a track like Rockingham?
Well, tonight our game plan got screwed on for me and Lorenzo. We got EOLs. We were being a little rough last week, trying to get through Myrtle Beach as best we could. So we had to start. We couldn't qualify, so we kind of that first pit window got screwed up for us. We kind of had to fly through the field, and luckily that caution came out when it did, so we wouldn't lose as much face with the rest of the pack. So now we're trying to keep a decent pace. We're kind of back on schedule, seeing what we can do and make some noise tonight.
Well, you always seem to make some noise when you're around these parts, so our best wishes and luck as we get you back to the track.
Sounds good, boys. Appreciate you.
Absolutely. The man base, William Mann Jr. coming on board here as pace lights are off on the pace car. Sparky, you know what time it is.
Oh yeah, it's time to get back to some green flag racing here with Brad Patton showing the way. James Harrison's going to be second, Greg Jazanik in third, Harley Valletta in fourth, and Nathan Meyer in fifth. There's the other fellas up front. They came down pit road during this caution, so they'll have to come from the back now as we get ready to fire them back up.
Oh, apparently Sparky forgot that no, it is not that kind of time just yet. They'll get it up and running here as soon as they get to the green flag. No, it's only I was trying to figure out what time it is around the parts here in the skies because it only seems like it's 2 o'clock. So I want it to be about 5 o'clock somewhere so we can see where this one goes down at the bar later.
I see what you did there. As we get back under green flag racing here, and we're back underway.
Back to the action we go. Let's get down to it. And the reason I bring 5 o'clock up because that 5 of Michael Davis is kind of hunting down in the field. We got trouble though. Gar Snyder. Get it.
Gar
Red
Snyder.
Bulls. Trying to save it. No, can't save it this time. No caution though.
Oh, he did not hit the wall. That's it. That's about it. He did not hit the wall. Good job of him doing that. He gets it back underway, but that's going to be a tough break for him.
I think someone would have called it one day. They said they got body slam going into turn 1.
Yeah, body slam, molly whop, you name it. That's pretty much what it looked like from there.
Is that a Holly Molly reference? You just threw that at me?
Maybe, possibly.
Wait, man, I gotta get you away. I gotta try to find a way to get you out of the attitude era and get back to reality. We're in the Universal era, ain't we? Or whatever era they're doing these days.
I don't even know what era it is. PG, whatever. I don't know.
No, we're not in PG land anymore. This is not the land of PG. We keep it respectful here at PTM Racing TV, but we're going to definitely have a little fun with these guys once in a while. Speaking of have a little fun, looks like George Young in the 48. Looks like he wants to have a little fun as the Man Beast goes at it with him coming through 3 and 4.
Yeah, absolutely. He had a little bit of trouble early on. Now he's trying to get himself back up through the field here.
He certainly is indeed, and Wilcox kind of in sight in line as well, man. That's one thing we're going to have to keep a very close eye on throughout these races, throughout these events, is how well do these drivers keep their distances and keep themselves under control. There's a lot at stake, obviously, but there's a lot more, I feel, that kind of plays in, which is who can survive the longest and who can keep their cars from getting too banged up around here. We've known before, again, what I said earlier with that wild card situation, anybody really gets a fair shake at things as long as you know how to work your car around here.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is a speedway. I mean, it almost seems like a short track with the distance that it is. But yeah, aerodynamics is still going to be important here because you do still have straightaways here, and you do have to have a good handling car in the race. So these drivers are going to have to, kind of take care of themselves too, but, they still got to push toward the front as well.
Well, I will say, it really does feel like it is like a short track, because I think it's only, it's like a mile in length here in total?
Just a little bit over a mile, I believe.
A little over a mile, and the track itself, the bankings you see, they're actually pretty high up there, pretty decent in slope. So that allows drivers to get some good runs off good speeds, but we talked about it earlier, if you go too low down there, you can actually get yourself caught up onto that apron in the banking, and that's the last place you want to end up at. But the outside line, generally in the middle, is where you get the most run up, but that's also where you get to burn tires up as well.
Yeah, it's kind of like a give or take in that situation there. You have to just kind of try to figure out where your car handles the best at the most, where you get the most good feeling out of your car. But not only that, also tire management as well. Where are you going to get the best tire management run here, especially if you get on a long run, which is right now we're kind of getting back to that long run here again.
You actually got a good look at that give or take kind of moments there when you saw James Harris and Nathan Meyer battling it out there on the back straightaway while Barletta was kind of timing in. But right behind the 21 of Stephen Gibson, we now take it down to the Potato Prince himself. Eli, the wild child, back in the groove and back in the swing of things. Could not make the Truck Series races, unfortunately, this season, so he said point blank, I've got a championship to defend. I will hold no boundaries when it comes to trying to knock down the best drivers in this league.
Absolutely, and you can see there with Eli Childs here and Gibson there, they're running two distinct lines. Gibson's running kind of a little bit more of the middle to higher line, whereas Childs is running more toward the bottom here. So this track does offer some multi-groove racing, and you can run in different spots on the track. So it's good to see that again.
Good observation there as well. And again, a lot of that is also built on the fact that these drivers are running on open setups, so they have really many ways and options to set the car up the way they want to have it feel and the way they want to drive it around the track. A lot of it generally boils down to just pass from steering, offset, and ratio. They're looking more towards the spring setup, the way the tape is dispensed, as well as how much their oil temperatures really rise up and get into trouble with, because again, they want to get them up to as high as they can go without burning up the car, but they also may be thinking about just trying to stay away from if they get into any damage that the oil pressure might overlapse and kind of heat up on them. So it's kind of like a ice hot and cold situation. I guess that's the best way I can explain it. It's, you got your pros, you got the cons to it, but at the same time, you want to run it a little colder, you know, so if you end up having damage like you would on a track like this, which generally short tracks wise you will have damage, there's just no escaping it, or do you want to try to go as hot as you can to get the fastest speed you can all throughout the race and hope for the best that you don't end up destroying something?
It's kind of a give and take on that too, honestly. I mean, it just depends on how much you really want to push it. And, you know, some guys, you know, a little bit more conservative. If you're more conservative, then you will back off the tape a little bit. You will kind of try to make the car kind of neutral. Some other guys, they want to get more downforce on the car. They want to kind of push down the lift a little bit more, put some tape on there, get that thing sticking to the racetrack, get a little bit quicker. But like you said, if you get damage on there, that does bring into a factor to see if that car is going to overheat or if it's going to have any other problems.
Well, talk about sticking to the track, to say the least, man. Right about now, top 10. Oh, my goodness. From Davis to literally Brad Patton, everybody is fighting with one another. Neither one wants to give an inch, but somebody has to give, somebody has to take. And right now, the bottom line is being taken by Barletta, while Childs is following suit and actually made Gibson go straight up to the high side, while Lorenzo gets back up there with the Marauder himself. It is looking to be a star-studded fight to the end here.
Yeah, it looks like Eli Childs has got some muscle under that hood now. He's moved up quite nicely. Got around Gibson. He's got around Lorenzo, and now he's working on Harris now. So definitely a good-looking car right now for that 19.
Yeah, I will say so indeed. Right now, I'll probably place a bet here, and I'm gonna say, if you gotta watch out for one driver here tonight, I would have to put my money on Lorenzo. Yeah, here's why. If I'm going off experience, he's going 26 spots up for the night. He's the hardest charger, but here's a little funny note. He won in the Truck Series back a while back, and they were running on those fixed setups. He absolutely dominated on the latter half of that and really showcased what his capabilities were. I feel like in the Cup Series, he's obviously got a little bit more to work around, but I feel at this moment, he may just be the guy to beat.
Absolutely, and he hit and pretty much all the races we've done so far, he's done that. He's pretty much, you know, has started maybe about mid-pack toward the back most of the time, it seems like, and he's able to get himself up through the field, make passes, make clean passes, get himself up through the field, and then right there at the end when it matters, there's his name right up there in that top 10, top 5, fighting it out.
Absolutely indeed. As we go on board with Nathan March, to give you guys a little insight just what these drivers are still fighting against and what they're dealing with on the track. So many places to be had and so many places to move off on the corners, but at the same time, it's extremely struggling and challenging to even keep yourself out of trouble and keeping yourself in play, as now from long run guys up front to very long run guys in back. Sean Bounty is starting to get a little bit of speed back into this as he was up a little earlier on. But the 38 of Ryan Johnson almost getting a tag from there, with Cale Gale following in on pursuit. The 88 of Garcener up top. Michael Davis going to fall back a little bit as well. Now this is where Rockingham gets extremely characteristic. Tires burn up too much, sends guys to the back. Those who are waiting out go right up to the front.
Boy, what a job. I got to give a shout out to Snyder there. He did his best to stay out of the way there. He's actually falling a lap down now. Remember, he just spun out not too long ago. And he did a good job of just, you know, trying to stay out of the way there of the leaders, trying to hold it up there, and do a very good job out there.
Oh, look out. Here we go. 3 wide salute entering into the turn 3 here down the back straightaway. Stephen Gibson had to let Sean Bounty get him going on the bottom lane, while Brock Whitehead in the Discount Tire Ford Mustang running the pink scheme as well. managing to sneak his way around Cale Gill. I'll tell you one thing, this man's a mammoth on the track. He is marching to the field like a soldier on the battlefield. He does not care where to go.
Absolutely, soldiering on is right. Now this is getting toward the point of the race now where we have ran a lot of laps on these tires now, and now those guys that have saved their tires, they're going to start coming up through the field pretty quickly, and those guys that's burned their tires up, you're going to see them drop like a rock.
Yeah, that's gonna be the one thing, man. It's like, do you want to try to drive the car when it feels like a dump truck, or do you want to try to drive the car when it feels like a Lamborghini out there? And that's the risk you run when you go for long run versus short run. But again, it all plays out on how many laps you do, how many stages you get, or if you have any. And also, how long can you make the car last?
Absolutely, and now, I mean, what I'm impressed by though is this Brad Patton guy right now. He's got a 5-second lead on the field. He's just checked out.
I completely forgot he was even in the lead, to be honest with you. We talked with him a minute ago, and I'm like, my broadcaster Chris probably got to him somehow. I know my voodoo dolls get Thacker a lot around here, and now that I say that, he'll probably end up coming after us later on, so be warned, Sparky. But no, he's hanging up over there.
Yeah, definitely. He's just in a different zone at this point, as he's leading the race right now. Nathan Meyer is moved up into second. Greg Jazanik is in third. Charlie Belletta holding the fourth spot. Richard Hornshell has gotten himself all the way up into the fifth spot.
Yeah, right now, Hornshell actually, looks like he's playing that strategy card he was talking about earlier. He said he didn't want to go into pit road too soon, but, it looks like he's actually starting to give himself a little bit of an edge, something kind of a grip down there.
Yeah, him and Brian Johnson, they pitted a little bit later than the guys that are ahead of them now, and they're starting to, get the weight.
Oh, no.
Holy, there they go.
I don't know how he saved that one, but caution flag is out here. We got problems down there. As one of our drivers is, there's a couple of them. Robert Lawrence all over the place, and it looks like Kevin Kosher badly damaged on that front end. Something is not right there for the 91. Something went down.
Yeah, we'll have to go to the PTM instant replay, but it looked like at the 53 of Wilcox got a little sideways there, and that just caused all sorts of mayhem up there.
I think we saw another 3-wide Luke go the wrong direction. Let's just take a look at this. So Gibson, okay, here's what happened. Gibson goes on to the bottom. He ends up tagging the line. He ends up getting to the 53 of Wilcox, and Kersher, after he gave old Gibson the bump, unfortunately, the bump and run did not play out to his advantage. Caution had to fly out due to the circumstances.
All right, so now we're going to get a little break in the action here. That was, again, a nice run by these guys.
Yeah, it seems like if you get them on a mile-long track, they can pull off a pretty good show, whereas most people think, nah, they can't do a good show with that. Well, I'll tell you one thing, if you think that's the case, I'll show you guys this race, because so far, this has been thoroughly entertaining to see these guys trying to figure out strategies and trying to figure out how to keep up with the distances, but unfortunately, once again, when the track starts to come at you, well, it comes at you with an iron fist. There's no doubt about that.
Ooh, Michael Davis down there giving Mr. Wilcox a little bit of the iron sides there. Just a little love tap coming down pit lane there for just a moment.
Well, we're going to go to a quick commercial break here, folks, while everyone goes to pit road. So let's give a little shout out here to our friends here at Champion Power Equipment here tonight. If you guys need the right tools for the right job, there's only one power generator company that can really get your needs and everything shipped up around here. That's Champion Power Equipment. Be sure to head over to their website at championpowerequipment.com. Check out all their local listings on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And show them some love, guys. Thank you so much for being a sponsor here on the Fast Fun Cup Series. Title sponsor for the league and title sponsor for everything else, which now brings us to talk with the drivers. We will bring in Mr. Harley Barletta. And there's one thing I know about Barletta right now. He is probably dead focused, does not want to talk with us too much. So we'll only keep him around too much for the Alcohol Hooligan Motorsports. But here he is now, race fans. He's tuning in with us from the 81 Kodak machine. Harley, how you doing tonight, buddy?
Hey, how's it going? That's been pretty good.
Oh, very good indeed here, sir. So, as usual, it seems like the short track runs on a mile to mile and a half. You seem to have them dialed up a little bit. And Rockingham, no different tonight, sir.
Yeah, we got some banking here, and that's giving us the upper hand a little bit. We're running a little better today. Keeping up with Craig is a really, 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 really good thing for us. We've been just hanging around most of the season. I think we're back in like 18th or something in points. So this is a good run for us.
So with this seemingly being a bit of a long run circumstantial race tonight, what's going to be the one thing you're hoping to kind of finish off and keep up pace with?
Pretty much. I mean, we just got to keep the tires in check and stay ahead of James.
All right, well, there's certainly a little bit of work to do there, but I think you can get it done. So best of luck to you and your crew at Halka.
Thanks, man. Appreciate you.
Absolutely. All right, that was Harley Barletta, ladies and gentlemen. We'll take it down now and see if we got enough time to talk with one of our other drivers here. Sparky, keep an eye on the double grid here while we go ahead and bring in someone else in here.
Alrighty.
All right, let's go ahead and bring it down here to Rusty Motorsports. We got to show some love to our boys in the back here, and some love indeed to our boy Kyle Holden. Holden, I know this is probably not the most circumstantial of times here. You're getting yourself into a bit of a bad break here, but nevertheless, you're still out there fighting. With mad respect for that, sir. I do not think I don't think we have the line open for him tonight.
Oh, I'm sorry, I had it muted.
Oh, there he is.
I'm just trying to, maybe hopefully get back onto the lead lap if, we get enough cautions here. Maybe these restarts will kickstart that for me, but I'm just having fun right now, learning the track over again and just seeing what to do, see what happens.
For sure there, but, well, nevertheless, looks like we're about to go green here, so we'll let you get doubled in and hopefully fight back against these guys.
Yeah, hopefully, thanks.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, the number 12, Kyle Holden. As we are looking to get back to the green flag here, Sparky, I will let you get the call while Mike go ahead and deal with these producers because they are getting on my last nerves not dealing with the camera system like they're supposed to.
Uh-oh, all right, well, here we go. We're going to get back to the green flag here. Hopefully we'll get the cameras back up and rolling. Brad Patton still showing the way here in the number 10 machine.
He shows him the way. He shows him how to play. Nathan Meyer, though, well, he's trying to defile and derail everything that I know with classic NASCAR because he's putting a 24 back up to the front spot in the wrong manufacturer, but he has given it everything she's got still to Brad Patton.
Yes, he is. He's going to try to do what he can here now. Now, this causes a different strategy now. Everybody came down pit road this time and got fresh tires, so now everybody's pretty much on the same set of tires at this point.
Yeah, if you're one of these guys right now looking at everything and looking at all positions, what is the main thing you're looking for that you want to make sure you outdo everyone else on?
Well, I would say for one, look for a mistake. Look for somebody to get loose, get off the bottom, get off the racetrack a little bit, get too high. Try to look for an opening when you can and try to pounce on somebody else's mistake at this point. Other than that, you pretty much just try to ride around and just try to, save as much tires as you can. That way you have something at the end of the show.
Absolutely on board with the former ARCA Series champion there, number 98's Grant Enfinger, as he currently tries to move his way back to the field. He's had a bit of a rough night as well. Him and Cale Gale had a great battle all the way through, but for the Enfinger camp, he ended up getting into a little bit of a spin and a hustle with a fellow teammate of his and Kevin Kersher. Ever since then, it's been pretty smooth sailing as he's gotten back up to the top 10, while Alonso and Childs kind of nail him off on the rest.
Yeah, that is pretty impressive for Grant Enfinger after the damage that he had earlier. And then he got up front there on the strategy thing, and now he's been able to keep himself in contention there in the top 10. So that's a good comeback for him in that number 98 field.
It is indeed. Here's we're looking back a little bit more now. Some of the guys we haven't talked about earlier. Here's Steve Clegg in the 22, kind of right ahead of the Mullen man, Robert Lawrence. Lawrence we've seen earlier on just cannot seem to catch a break in the Cup Series when it comes to finding himself in a tail whip or a spin here. While the 39 Jonathan Diamond, a former IROC champion here in his own, a former IROC Series race winner in his own right, still has a couple of victories here, obviously with the ARCA and even some trucks, and still searching for that first Cup Series win, but he's come very close before just on pit strategies alone and on the track. And again, I'll say it once, I'll say it again, you don't have to literally go to a barn burner finish with 1,000 of a second fit to become a great household name. In my opinion, just really showing that you can outlast the whole field and just out-defeat everyone on tires shows me you can be a very versatile talent driver, and to me that's what makes the best kind of driver, if you ask me.
I would certainly agree with you there. Absolutely. It isn't, as it always is, it isn't always the fastest car that wins the race. Sometimes it's the smartest driver out there. Sometimes it's the guy that's the finesse guy out there. They're all different strategies. You never know in a race. Anything can really happen. So, you just plan accordingly. Go with your plan, race your race, and you never know. might get a top 5. You might get yourself even in the victory lane if the cards all line up for you.
If I said it once, I'll say it again. Sometimes being in the winner's circle is not always the key. Sometimes being the key is just being pure consistency when it comes to league races. Yes, in those big money races, yeah, you want to win because obviously there's no point in championship points or anything like that. It's all about just getting that money. But if you're not running from the moolah time and time again, you gotta start really making your banks here by making harder on for the whole championship run. That's where, to me, everything plays down to. We've seen it here where even Jacob Gibbons and Kyle Holden going back at it is where those that stick out for that long haul and kind of keep their heads up and keep their heads in play, they were the ones that strength in numbers and really give themselves more of a breathing room when it comes to the points.
Yeah, and as we trot along here, we're getting big
trouble right there. Yellow flag is out. We got a big wreck on the back straightaway. 6-7 cars involved in this one.
Oh boy.
Yikes. This not looking good. And once again, looks like Kevin Kersher finds himself in the out of it again. He's not catching a break here tonight with Rockingham.
Him and Wilcox both. Wilcox has got heavy damage too on that 53 car on the side and the back of his car. He got involved in that as well.
Yeah, that's unfortunate there. Kyle Holden, I think I may have ended up giving him the broadcast of Kerr's side. Kyle, I apologize, buddy. I didn't mean to get you kind of in that spot, but yeah, it looks like George Young. I think that might be John Thacker down there. Might have been Russ the Fullboard Kilgore. I didn't see the number 2 on him, though. I usually could tell the difference there, but that is a tough break there for these guys, man. No one wants to end up in that spot and in that situation.
It looked like from what my vantage point was, it looked like that it was the 48 of Georgie Young on the outside of another car there, and they kind of got together coming off of turn 2. That's what kind of started all that.
Yeah, the 91, unfortunately, with Kevin Kersher, and looked like, yeah, like you said, the 48, George Young, they just kind of collided into one another. Rockingham very well known for that as well. As one driver well known for taking no prisoners when he gets up to the front, and the Marauder, James Harris, knows that all too well. Still searching for your first season championship in the Cup Series, though, my friend. You've come so close yet so far many times, but this season so far has been pretty elite when it comes to the battles.
Yeah, man, this season, like I said before, our plan is to just go for top 10s, top 5s when we can get them. Don't wear ourselves out till the playoffs, and then once the playoffs come, we're going to go hard then. Now,
I know, obviously, when playoff teams coming around and all that as well, I know that's going to be a bit more difficult to really get those wins when they matter, because we talked about it before. When some of these guys, they may be running these things hard as they can be now, but they're almost kind of reminds me of like how you would see like other guys out here that they build up their speeds, build up their runs, and it just kind of stays there. How do you keep your car from staying in that same spot?
When I figure it out, I will let you know. We're struggling tonight. Last year at the Rock we dominated and lost it at the end. Tonight it's a different setup. I didn't have time to test. It's really hard on the right front, and I'm not the best when it comes to real tight setups that we're at that right front, so I just got to manage it here the last 40-something laps, see if we can knock out a top 10.
For sure there. Well, nevertheless, Harris, do appreciate your time here tonight with 3 Wide Motorsports. We'll see if you and some of your boys down there can get things going here.
Therefore, thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, there, James the Marauder Harris, and the number 4, and I think we'll kind of leave the calls alone here for a minute, Sparky, because I think we still got some laps to figure out, and really maybe the length of the tape here. I think it's time to start talking about just how close it is right now with these drivers, because with only about 40 laps to go here, you've got a number of guys that could literally take this whole season and without even knowing it, just by speeds alone.
Yeah, absolutely. And this race so far, we've had a couple good long runs in this one. These guys have been very careful out here. They've done a very good job out here tonight. Right now, though, I'm not going to try to jinx anybody, but the leader, I won't say his name, but I'll say the leader has been pretty quick so far, and unless the other guys have something for him, he's going to be the car to beat here tonight, looks like.
Yeah, definitely seems to be the case here, but I don't know. If I'm looking around, I'd say anybody in the top 10, I would say would be my pick. I'm not going to mention which one I'm seeing more of, because in all honesty, I really do not know. So I'm going to keep my mouth shut and watch that. But as we get ready to bring it back to the green flag, things can get a little bit interesting around here.
Absolutely. I think as this goes on, we're going to see if these drivers are going to push it a little bit more as we're about ready to get on in here. I believe the pace car's about ready to duck on off in here. Yes, it is. There it is on pit road. We're going to get the green back out, and we're back underway here at Rockingham.
Rockingham, North Carolina has seen many great races and many great battles, and we always know when you get to the last couple of laps, even whether it be 40 or 10, something can happen around here because it's a mad dash for the win and a mad dash for victory. Which one of these drivers will be able to conquer and succeed when they need to most?
Absolutely. And right now, the 10 car of Brad Patton right now is succeeding the most right now up in front. Nathan Meyer just trying to find any type of speed or anything to try to get back to him. Greg Janik there in the 3rd spot. Sean Boundy in 4th. Cale Gale is now up 5th.
Cale Gale has been one of those guys we've seen here time and time again on PTM Racing TV. He just seems to rocket the Blaster Master up to the front and just seems to just manage everything and then some, all from the very beginning to the very end with no trouble or really seemingly just no regards of what he's doing out there. But again, I just keep wondering, to myself, is he going to be able to mark that in for the entire night and the entire race when all is said and done? Because again, we've only got a couple laps left, and the Janey fam, we haven't talked to them, but we already know what he's up to. He's up to an extremely long run and just waiting very, very patiently to give everyone the boot and get everyone the shaft when he got it set and dialed in.
And absolutely, and really, honestly, in Cale Gale's case, he's kind of like the target man right now because he has won the last 2 races. He's looking for 3 in a row. We'll see if he can get it done.
If he can get it done, I would not be surprised. But again, I guess any fam decided to let Gale go by it this early. They'll let him by, and the Blaster Master is in full brigade. The 24 next on the list.
Yep, putting him up, putting him down right now. Looks like Janik's going to go with that. I'm going to let my tires cool down kind of strategy right now and let this pan out a little bit.
If you're wondering why they let tires cool down and what that means is, it basically means they're trying to keep heat from engaging too hard on the wheels. They're trying to let them breathe a little bit so they have time to save up and then build off the run for later on. Again, it's a tire saving method where if you overclock them and you burn them up too much, you'll get a flat tire. And if you got a flat tire, like we said before, there's no friction to the ground. You have no speed. No speed, well, it means you're driving pretty much a hunk-of-junk Tonka-tonk truck.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that's a pretty good explanation to that. Pretty much like a Tonka truck at that point, because then like one of our drivers said earlier, burning up that right front. I believe it was James Harrison was talking about that, burning up the right front. That's a very intricate part of the car, and if you don't have any wear on that right front tire or anything, you go in the corner, that thing's going to try to go for the wall. It's not going to try to turn after a while. So you really got to take care of that right front tire, especially on these high horsepower race cars.
Yeah, absolutely, indeed. And man, Gale, I'll tell you this here. You saw just a minute ago, he dived down low. He was going for a runoff on Meyer. Now he's going up top. He's really trying to find any way around Meyer. Meyer's not even really trying to block. He's just trying to make sure he doesn't let Gale get too comfortable and give him a runoff here. But Gale, the strategist he is, he just makes him move up and down a little too much, and that ends up costing him and cross over down the bottom lane. He finally takes it over. Meyer may be looking to save up for a little bit or two to catch Patton and him later on, but the field is currently in a bit of a different force here, if you will. This is a kind of a horse race battle where you're trying to go from the back end to literally all around the track and then back on for the full sprint. That's kind of what I'm seeing here.
Yeah, that's a good explanation of that. Yeah, it's just like, if you ever watch the Kentucky Derby and you see those horses take off, you'll see a couple kind of run in the back.
Whoa! Brock Whitehead getting a little love tap from Fornshell. Manages to save it, but that rear bumper did not get saved in it.
Well, it was like that horse was trying to run off the track there for a minute.
I was about to say, trying to run off the track, trying to go into the guardrail, and I don't think the jockey would have been too appreciative of that.
That would not have been a very comfortable ride indeed on that. Absolutely.
No, that's the last kind of ride anybody wants to hear around this part.
Yeah, not much giddy up in that. As we continue to ride on along here and see what's going on here. Right now, Brad Patton still holding on to just a slight of a second lead over Cale Gale at the moment.
Zach Henson right now moving up through the chain, starting to move up through the field. He is giving it everything he can and then some here. Right now the 11 is one of the only guys left here with Rusty Motorsports that has a shot at possibly making some headways and making some comebacks here for the whole crew.
Yeah, I haven't talked much about Mr. Zach there for a while there in that number 11 machine, but yeah, he's having a pretty decent run out there in the Matco machine there in the number 11 Toyota, having a very good run.
Putting up against top 15. If you find a way around Harris, then I'd say you deserve a medal and a half. I've had troubles trying to pass him out unless it's on dirt.
That's interesting, though. That would be interesting if this Rockingham actually had dirt on it. That would be kind of interesting. So.
I'm gonna say this and let's not, because honestly, Bristol dirt is does not really need dirt on it to begin with, and neither does Rockingham. So let's just leave those tracks alone.
On second thought, I agree with you on that. Good point.
Nothing against Bristol dirt track, but honestly, unless you got sprint cars and the 410 super late models out there, just leave the asphalt alone. Honestly, I will say that last race they had at Bristol with the Cup Series is the whole reason why they're supposed to have asphalt out there. But I will say it is still fun to have two races, one with dirt and one on asphalt with the Cup Series. It does add for a unique, fun challenge to the race, and I do like that aspect of it. So I cannot disagree why they have dirt there.
Definitely agree with that one right there. Absolutely.
So it's it's just kind of two different tracks. But meanwhile, Rockingham, the really reason I would not ever put dirt out on the track here is because that's the way the bankments are and the way the corners are. If you're driving like a lower end car like a dirt stock, it'd just be a lot harder to build up that kind of speed and runoff. Now, North Wilkesboro, you could get away with that one if you had to do that, because that was originally actually built as a dirt track, so we know that would work. This track, though, that would not work.
Point well taken.
The point well taken.
Well
taken. All right.
we'll just go with that, because I absolutely agree with you on that. Yeah. On second thought, forget about the dirt idea on Rockingham.
Speaking of North Wilkesboro and Rockingham right now, just a little fun fact for you fans at home right now. About 4 months ago, they did have a government legislative in North Carolina to help get some spending and some funds actually to bring back, I believe it was like $10 million for not only North Wilkesboro, but also $10 million for Rockingham out there. And then what they're trying to do is they're trying to bring these tracks back to life, and they're trying to bring in some revenue for, obviously the people that live in the area and live in the state itself. And there is no better way to do it than to actually get those NASCAR drivers back on a series like this, or anywhere in this case. And even SRX has definitely shared interest on bringing back North Wilkesboro, and I have a feeling they'll probably ask about Rockingham eventually.
Absolutely, yeah. I think they will eventually get back to that, where they have even if it's like the SRX series or some other major series, will get back at Rockingham or get back at Wilkesboro, or even both. That can definitely happen. We already saw with SRX already going to tracks like Stafford and other places as well that people never got to see before on localized on cable television before. So it is good to see tracks get the exposure like that. It'd be great to see them get tracks back on some type of schedule.
Lucas Oil, or IRP Speedway, if you will. Knoxville, I guess you can add that one in because you don't see too much of the coverage other than the sprint car nationals. And I would even say Slinger Speedway got all. Honestly, if I had to give a track that deserved the television show and was the best of the bunch, I'm going to go Slinger Speedway all the way. That was not a race I loved more than watching Slinger. So, and iRacing, if you're still listening, we want Slinger. Why have you not got this track on this list yet? I know it would be horrible for officials because we know how super late models and late model drivers are, but for the life of me, bring it to iRacing, please. We want it.
Speaking of Slinger, we got a big Slinger of a crash in turn 1.
Yeah, we got it right on our cameras right now. George Young in 48 and 56, John Thacker involved in that. Steve Gibson in the 21, caught in the mix. Caution is out again. And boy, howdy, that number, I believe that is the 9, I believe that's a 53. Yep, that is Christian Wilcox. He's got a badly damaged up front end on that one. That's not looking good. We're going to go to the PTM Instant Replay. Take a look at this here and see what transpired. This is going to be between Wilcox and the 48 of George Young, it looks like. Oh, hold on a minute. Actually, I take that back. Looks like Richard Fornshell. The 90. Oh, so not only did Fornshell get loose, but it looked like one of the other pink drivers down there got into Wilcox. Wilcox got kind of caught off sideways there, and I'm not sure which one of them got into each other, but one of them definitely took each other for a ride. I'm going to watch that man beast. I think that might have been him in this case. Take a look at it. Yep, right there. Gibson actually gets right into the 29, the back of him, and that starts the chain reaction as they were going into the turn there, Sparky.
Yeah, that definitely is what happened. Looked like that happened there. It just and we were talking right before that crash happened. I was looking at that 90 car Fornshell even before that, and he was getting loose for a couple laps. So it looked like the tires was gone on that car, and a couple other fellows was having trouble keeping grip on the track. And it just looked like people was just starting to lose handle of their cars, and then all of a sudden, one car gets into another, and then melee happens.
And then, yep, unfortunately for us, Super Smash Bros. Melee is not a part of this game, probably for the best, but thankfully we have a driver that is now with us that I would say probably has been through a melee battle and a half, and that's the 27 Rick Sargent. And Sargent, that Wildcats Toyota Camry may not be up to par with normal racetracks, but I would say, considering you're on a short track, I'd say it's pretty cleaned up for a little banged up piece of equipment, isn't it?
Yeah, it's running pretty good tonight, but I don't know. I'm ready to get on to these mile and a halves.
Yeah, this was definitely a bit of a hard race to deal with, and a little bit of craziness in between. But I gotta ask you, what is going to be the biggest thing you're watching for coming into the next races here? Obviously, because you said the mile and a half are what you're looking for, Morris.
Yeah, I'm just a lot better at them, more comfortable. Got caught up early in some stuff. Had to start from the pits tonight. Got in trouble last week. So I'm just trying to see what we can do here. Get the best finish we can and kind of go from there.
For sure there. Well, Rick, we do appreciate you coming on board here tonight, sir. Thank you for your time, and our best wishes and luck as we progress through.
All right, appreciate you.
Rick Sargent here, ladies and gentlemen, taking some time to talk with us here. We always try to showcase the guys in the back and the front. We don't just talk with the guys up front, obviously. We want to make sure every driver gets a showcase here on PTM Racing TV for all the main reasons. And I think for the most part, we've kind of hit all our spots here tonight, so we'll kind of leave the rest of them alone for now. But Sparky, we still have a little bit of racing left to do here. We've got about 16 laps remaining on the restart. I think this could go either way.
Yeah, I think at this point, the tire saving thing is out the window at this point. Now they all came down pit. Looks like they all did come down pit road here. Looks like they did all get their tires, fuel all straightened up here. So now at this point, with this many laps to go, the tire saving thing, forget about it. Now you just got to put the pressure on. Got to get yourself up there and see what the best finish you can get out of this.
Yeah, absolutely, and nevertheless, with what we've got going at stake, presumably Patton has been the fastest on the short run method and the methodology he's been coming up with. But Ryan Johnson, you saw him earlier on, he was gaining him on that short run. So I don't know. This is a toss-up between those two when it comes to that start. But if Cale Gale can find a way around Jantic, or Jantic can find a way to hold off Cale and actually get about 5 more good, strong laps in, this could be a flip of the coin, honestly. You got 4 drivers, in my opinion, right up front that could win this. Let's go to the green flag and find out who takes us home as we get back to the racing at Rockingham.
Absolutely. We're going to find out right now. Green flag in the air. We're going to see how it goes. Patton will lead them down in the turn 1, coming off the turn 2 down the back straightaway. They're side by side, and here they go again.
Off the runs and off the corners here, every driver for themselves. There are no bonuses for anything other than just to win. You better figure out how to do it. And Finger, though, he's got problems. He opens up his own lawn care service down out in the front straightaway, brings it back down. Great save by the 98, but that's going to cost him a lot of time.
Yes, that will. He was running in the top 10 right before he went down there and decided to be the grass clipper there, but he gets himself back up in care here and gets himself back in the race.
Michael Davis might have found the right box of chocolates this time because he's in the top half at least and fighting it out here with some of the best drivers up front, trying to make his way into the charge and hang on. While the 81 of Harley Barletta tries to defend off some heavy hitters there, and Eli the Wild Child and the Bounty Hunter and Sean Bounty. Up to the front we go. Ryan Johnson is not leaving Brad Patton's sight. Patton is only about 3/10 off. Lap time show it. The fastest lap was just ran by Brad Patton this tonight. He ran a 23.675. And a caution flies out as we just about to talk about that here. There is a problem down there. Brock Whitehead getting involved in it.
Yeah, we will definitely have to go to the PTM instant replay and see what happened to Mr. Brock back there.
Looked like it might have been between him and Richard Fornshell on the front straightaway. We'll take a look at it. The discount tire might have had a little love tap there from the sure flap. Oh, that was the case, and oh boy, I don't know if you saw that, Sparky, but the 29 of William Mann Jr. I don't know how he shot the gap, but I think he might have been listening in and playing a little PS2 because he had Stuntman playing with the director yelling at him saying, "Shoot through the gap." Like it. Look at this. Watch this. This is a great move by the 29. Look at that right there. That is just pure control and consistency. He laid off the throttle. He waited to see what happened. He knew he was kind of in a bad spot, but the fact that he managed to make his way through that with a no scratch and came out extremely clean, that takes a lot of talent to not even just kind of get scared or even try to muscle your way around it. He just kept the steering wheel nice and straight, exactly on target.
Absolutely. It does take a lot of poise, a lot of confidence, and a lot of, just sitting there, just being calm when a wreck happens. Not to panic, not to turn the wheel one way or the other, not to slam on the brakes like crazy or anything like that. Just picture it out, see where those cars are going to go, and just like the Red Sea parting, you just go right through where they're not.
Absolutely, and right now we're going to go ahead and talk with one of the guys that have been kind of parting with their car parts and all the damages here tonight in the 48, George Young. He'll be our last guy to talk with until the top three. But George, this has been pretty much an up and down race as usual for you, and I don't know how you somehow stay out here and just keep fighting with these guys. You got a lot more heart than I think I could have had.
hey man, that's all you can do. I just can't catch a break. I just keep getting caught up in these wrecks. I don't get it. And it's been a tough season, both here and the trucks. But hey, got to keep at it,
Eventually, sooner or later, you got to break free of the problems and get one chance out there, right?
Yeah. Oh, it'll happen. It's coming. We're no win, but it's coming.
If I say you and the Man Beats are my last two guys that have yet to win, so I think it's only a matter of time. But nevertheless, yeah, George, appreciate it coming on board, sir.
All right, man.
Ladies and gentlemen from Midbag Racing, give it up for the 48, George Young. And I swear, Georgie just cannot for the life of me get a break or get himself out of that slump he finds himself in. He has yet to win, so has the Man Beast. And they've both come so close so many times.
I definitely know how he feels.
At least you got a couple wins on here. I don't even have an asphalt win for that matter. Thank you very much.
But wins are hard to come by, whether it's asphalt, dirt, road courses. They are hard to come by. When you get one, you feel like you really deserved it when you get one of those wins. They are hard to come by because the competition is so fierce. It is so tough. It's even tough to even get a top 5 most of the time. So, these are some very good competition out here. So if you get that win, man, you just savor that thing because you never know when you're going to get another one.
Truer words never been spoken, folks. He is right on the mark with that one. And speaking of right on the mark, right on time and on schedule, it's time to bring it down to our final laps as we get back to it here with 8 remaining. Our friend and our potato princess, if you will, joins us in. Jess Ruggerberg comes on board saying, "Let's go, Eli. Love you," here in the chat. Wild Child, you've got some work to do, and you got a potato prince to uphold. He's in the 7th place spot. But Ryan Johnson and Brad Patton are your guys I'll look out for on the restart. They have been bad fast all day long. You know the consistency of the two behind him and even the kind of the wild card circumstances that comes with Barletta and Bounty. They're very chaotic in their own nature when it comes to where they'll place. But I will say this much. This one could boil down to a hard run to the end if Johnson has to put the bumper in here.
We'll see if that holds true here as being able to stack back up again. Pace car coming off of turn number 4, now heading to the pit lane. Green flag is coming back out, and here we go. We're back underway.
8 remain. Which one wants some more? Look at Cale Gill, though. I was just about to talk about Johnson. Cale just literally mashed the gas pedal, and now he is right behind Patton. This is not looking good for that number 10.
Oh my goodness, wow. I don't know if he caught Johnson napping there or what, but he made a heck of a move off the start to get by Johnson. But Johnson's not giving up. He's going to fight back on the outside here.
Oh, he certainly is, Sparky. Look at this. Johnson on the outside, trying to get Taz Motorsports back into the running, back into the field. Gale trying to block off. You can see him trying to keep the car on line two. The Eli the Wild Child dealing with Dathan Meyer, while Sean Bounty falls back a few spots as well. But the story is up front. 4 drivers trying to take down the race leader and Brad Patton with only a couple laps remaining. 4 or 5 to go. This next time by, the flagman will tell him by holding a high 5 in the air, and that means you better get this one figured out, boys.
Yep, not a lot of time. These laps are coming by pretty quick, so if you're going to make a move, you better move it quick at this point.
The Blaster Master seems to have that bottom line dialed in. That's the fastest line, but how much tires is left on either one of these drivers? Because again, if they go to another caution, that one slip of the tire spinning, that could end up costing them all their race. The whole shot is their saving grace at this point.
Right now, that last lap there, Patton was just a tad bit quicker than Gale right now, but it doesn't seem like that's affecting too much. It looks like they're all still tightly there together.
It is indeed, and right now it looks like more and more I'm feeling Patton is the guy that's going to pretty much kind of walk away if he can just keep the bottom line in his sight. If he gets one opening though to Gale, Gale will have no problem charging him. But it doesn't seem like Patton is losing any ground. As a matter of fact, it looks like I think he's gained a little bit on the 83. The 83 seems to be slowing down slightly, not because of aero, but I think it's because of a little bit of the tire circumstances. The aerodynamics on a mile-long track don't really exist. But on track that's a mile and a half and 2 miles plus, then yeah, that's where that exists at. For this right now, though, the tires seem to be fading away because I'm seeing Gale just losing more and more grip as he gets to the corners.
Yeah, he absolutely is now. It looks like Patton is now starting to pull away, but never say never. We've seen before where we've had a crazy finish at the end, so we better not hold our breaths here as we go down to about 2 to go.
Well, I can't forget about Nashville Super Speedway. Will that happen again? Only will time will remain, but it just seems more and more like I'm seeing it here. White flag will fly out this next time by as a whole hungry list of drivers in the back just could battle it in. The Mullen man, Robert Lawrence, with one last hurrah, one last fight to Bounty, Childs, and Meyer. But on the coming course, white flag is out. Brad Patton will hammer down while Cale Gale and Johnson still fight it out for that second place spot. One of them will give and one of them will take, but at a turn 3 this next time by, no trouble here. He's got to make a good exit. Out of 4, he gets it, and it's going to be Brad Patton walking away with the W at Rockingham Speedway.
All right, Cale Gale will bring it home in second. Ryan Johnson will come home in third. Craig Jazanik's going to bring it home in fourth. And Nathan Meyer in car number 24 again finishes in the top 5. He will finish 5th.
Final finishers there, Eli the Wild Childs in 9th, 7 going to Robert Lawrence, 8 to Sean Bounty, 9 to Brian Lorenzo as they have a little fun in the back there, and then Jack Hinson. Give credit where credit's due to that driver, man. He had to hold that whole Rusty Motorsports crew up. He got a top 10 out of that one, but nevertheless, race fans, walking away with a W and a victory at Rockingham. Give it up for Mr. Brad Patton, and my, this one is going to be a little sweet for him tonight.
Indeed, it will be, as he's now going to go down here in the infield here and do a little lawn care service. It's okay, you can do that now. The race is over, so you might as well celebrate, take care of all that grass.
I mean, celebrate all you want, just don't destroy my grass too much. Remember, I still $10 million isn't going to fix the grass. It's only going to fix the outsides of the track and the insides a little bit, not the whole track itself there, my friend. I'm going to need a lot of weed killer when this is all over with.
Boy, that's a lot of money for grass. Oh, no.
What are you talking about? I'm not putting all that money into the grass. What is wrong with you? Here's the top 10 and the finishers here as well. Patton wins it. Second to Gale, third to Johnson, fourth to Janzik, fifth to Meyer, sixth to Childs, seventh to Lawrence, 8 to Bounty, 9 to Lorenzo, 10 to Hinton. Sparky, go ahead and talk about the top 20 as well, and we'll go ahead and get our 3 drivers in here.
All right, Harley Boletto fell all the way back to 11th there at the end. That's a tough break for him. James Harrison's up 12th. Grant Enfinger brought it home 13th after going through the grass. William Mann Jr. brought it home in 14th. Stephen Clegg, a nice little top 15 run for him. Michael Davis in 16th, Austin Hable in 17th, Brock Whitehead 18th, John Thacker in 19th, and Jonathan Diamond will bring it home in 20th.
That was your finishers here tonight in a star-studded lineup in a battle amongst greats and veterans, to say the least. Our third place finisher now, Ryan Johnson. He is waiting with us in the wings. We join him now down here in pit road. And Johnson, boy, you had a long night ahead of you and a lot of hard stakes and a hard race to the end, but Gale managing to sneak by you there coming on that last restart. Just couldn't quite get past him with the speeds there.
Yeah, that last restart, I spun the tires a little too much, and they got a better restart than I did, and I tried sending it in 3 and 4 on the outside, and I almost had him, but he's just so fast, and Brad was extremely fast all night, and congrats to him. That was so much good racing from all these guys that I was around. That was a lot of fun.
It was indeed, man. I know a lot of folks out here were a little bit worried about going into these shorter tracks here after seeing kind of how the shorter tracks have been to drivers as of late, but this one just proves that these guys and you as well can definitely put on a show as much as race your hearts out for what you want more than anything.
Yeah, I mean, I think, what is it, like a mile? I mean, the track is really wide in the corners, and as long as people give space, here and there, it's not bad to get around here. It's just I think 2 is probably the most treacherous part of the track. And I mean, like I said, if people give room, a lot of clean racing. There's a ton of it tonight.
For sure there, bud, but nevertheless here, a strong showing for you and your crew, and you may be a one-man army, but you definitely showed you can definitely play it out with the best of them. Anybody want to thank you for that?
Yeah, all the admins here at the Fast and Fun Cup Series. Champion Power Equipment, I believe, is their sponsor. Taz Motorsports, Woody's Designs for my paint. Yeah, family, friends, any other sponsors that we got. You guys up at the Brew for Broadcasting, and all the drivers.
I appreciate you coming on board here tonight, Ryan. Congratulations on that third place finish, and we will see you next time out here on PTM Racing TV.
Thanks, buddy.
Ryan Johnson, ladies and gentlemen, your third place finisher here tonight. Joining me now from the second place spot down here in pit road, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Kale Gale, and another strong showing from you and the Blackstone Management Racing crew, sir. But it looked like when you were trying to catch Patton on those last few laps, the car either died off on the tires or Patton just had a little bit more speed with the air there. What was the transcript there for you and your crew?
Yeah, congratulations to Brad. He just he's a little better. We got beat tonight, so had to overcome a EOL there about 30 laps in the race. So, but to be honest, I let Brad go at the beginning of the race. I thought his pace might be a little bit quick to save tires, but he was stayed out there and managed his race and ran a good race and no mistakes. Had great pace.
Had good pace, and like you said, just ran a perfect race when he needed to. And at the end of the day, I know that definitely sits well for him and his crew, but you definitely still showed as well what you are capable of and what you were able to bring to the table here tonight in Rockingham. So I got to ask you, as you're walking away second place here tonight, who do you want to thank you for this finish?
Thank you guys for putting on the broadcast, Champion Power Equipment, everybody over at BSM Racing. I had a lot of fun racing tonight. It was fun getting the EOL actually, and working my way through traffic, and everybody gave a lot of room, and overall it was a fairly clean race. I feel like I had a lot of fun racing the 38, as well as Craig and some of the other top runners tonight. The 19 had a really good run too as well, so enjoyed racing all those guys. Had a lot of fun.
Absolutely. Okay, I appreciate your time here tonight. Congratulations once again on your finish here with Blackstone Management Racing, sir.
Yep, thank you, appreciate it.
Ladies and gentlemen, second place finisher here tonight, Kale Gale, and that number 83. And now, ladies and gentlemen, well, he joins me here in the victory lane. Sparky looks on from above here on the top side. It is your champion here tonight, Brad Patton at Rockingham. And Brad, we talked about this earlier. This track can give us crazy winners and some crazy results. I didn't think for one second that you wouldn't have a chance of being in that top half, but I certainly was not. I don't think me or Sparky could say that you were literally the guy to be until you had a perfect run at the end, man.
Yeah, I seen once Cal started coming back through the field there at the end. I was like, oh man, here we go. It's going to be a battle between me, Cal, and Ryan. Because I mean, they had the same amount of speed as I did. I don't know if their tires just fell off faster or what it was, but yeah, it was setting up to be a battle there.
It was indeed, and going back to that, man, you had to literally wheel and deal the corners to keep, Gale off your tail, and you built a lot of speed up ahead of him. Did the car just kind of settle back down the way you were hoping for in those last few laps?
On the long run, I was just letting the car just basically roll center, and I wasn't really fighting it. I was just letting it do its own thing, and then when it was time to turn down through the corner, that's what I'd do, and I'd barely get on the gas. So I was barely helping the car rotate, and I just let it do its own work.
Well,
and just maintain it.
Well, the car definitely did its own work and did exactly what it needs to. And Brad, it ends up giving yourself a victory here at Rockingham Speedway. I have to ask you, sir, is there anybody you want to thank here for this finish?
Yeah, I got a list.
He brought a list this time, folks. Let him go. Let him go.
All right. I got Depth Esports, Red Dragon Gaming, Freshen Up Hydration Labs. Got to thank Go Fast Motorsports for bringing me on for the season here in the Champion Equipment Fast and Fun series. I got them their first win, so I'm happy about that. Got to thank you guys for broadcasting and for everybody that was watching tonight. It was fun. Friends and family that watched as well.
Are you sure there's not more people on that list? You literally wrote down the list, right?
Yeah, I did. I actually took a notepad on my phone.
Well, at least he thought ahead this time, but nevertheless, here, Ben, congratulations on that one, and appreciate you coming on board. We will catch you next time when that green flag flies high on PTM Racing TV, sir.
Thanks, Christian.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, your race winner here tonight. Give it up for Brad Patton. And Sparky, that's going to call another one here, but as we tune off and sign off for the night, a big thank you again to Champion Power Equipment and all their equipment needs and equipment rights as well, being helping out with the power generation side of things. They definitely are the guys to look out for when you need that kind of equipment kind of stuff. Thank you again to them for all their help and support, as well as coming on board to each and every single one of these broadcasts and races for Fast and Fun Cup Series this season and the past seasons. Sparky, it's been a wild one here at Rockingham. I'm kind of surprised that we've had such a great showing, to say the least.
Yeah, this definitely was a good show to watch tonight. It definitely makes you think that why did they ever leave this racetrack back then? This produced some very good racing with these guys. These guys did a very wonderful job tonight. Congratulations to Brad Patton on the win, and good that he was prepared tonight with his list. And good shout out there for Zach Henson tonight in that 11 car. It's a good top 10 run for him here this season, and all the drivers out here tonight. They all did a wonderful job out here.
Certainly there. And right now, as we sign off with this here tonight, race fans, we thank and appreciate you for coming on board. Subscribe to our YouTube if you haven't already. Like and follow us up on Facebook. And until our green flag is flying high on PTM Racing TV next time, see you later from Rockingham. We'll see you guys tomorrow night when we return with some doubleheader action with dirt and asphalt on the list.